morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday morning brew. I am your, what is going on, computer? Shush. I am your hostess with the hottest coffee around. Today I am drinking the tears of my readers. I feel like is my hat on sideways? Sorry. I'm having one of those mornings. But I'm here. I'm here with you. So we're going to talk about some things today. Of course, let us talk about what's going on in Path of the Pale Rider. We are on the last few days. Woo! Good morning, William Russell. How are you? Good morning. Am I working that what? I am working on that shirt right now. On this shirt, this bullshit shirt. Good morning, Dylan. How are you? So here we are. We got 3 days left, people. This is usually where it starts moving. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I mean, like, we're funded. We're getting a book, and I'm super excited specifically about this book. Issue 7 is my favorite. First arc is 12. There's everything that happened before 7. And then there is 7. And then there's everything that happens after 7. So you've been warned. If you don't get this issue, you might, I don't know. We're going to be talking about it for sure. It's one of those where people claim they have a theory about what's happening here. No one has been able to predict. I let these 5 creators, podcasters, writers, they got a portion of the script. They got the first half. And they got to read. They got to at least see what is coming, but there was no resolution, right? I didn't let them read the ending. And they are all hooked. They're all hooked. They need to know what happens next. And my friends, I'm telling you, I haven't been lying. The hype is real. Don't miss out on this issue. Take a look inside. Of course, I always want to mention my team. I always want to say thank you to the incredible artists that are involved in this project. So Gilbert Perez, who of course does pencils and inks. You should know his name by now because he created Sad Pancake. But if you don't know, this is Gilbert Perez and Matt Chambers teaming up. Matt Chambers is the colorist, of course. And so I love what they did here when Jude gets injected and he starts to turn gray. Like, it's just such a cool effect that they did when the undead look too. I can't say I enjoy that look for Jude. And my husband is tormenting my dog in the kitchen. So if you're hearing my dog bark, it's because he's doing it on purpose. Thanks, honey. I have incredible variant covers. William Russell, who is here in the chat, has done 2 amazing covers on this campaign. We have Head West. We're going to find a good name for this guy. We have a couple in the running, but Rygor and Abek, and I don't know. We'll have to see what we name this guy, but he's gorgeous. And I think his hat and his hair are one piece. So, like, if he takes his hat off, the hair goes with it. Propaganda by Wade Codling. If you know about the UCR, this means something to you. Of course, the ever gorgeous Lola and Sad Pancake. This is the only cover where they are immune to what is coming in this issue. There are people were upset, like, are we going to put Sad Pancake into the chaos bomb? And I was like, we are not. So these 2 are safe. So what Jude and the people in the back of that truck are about to go through is about to be a bad day. Don't forget, we have Terry Parr covers. Terry Parr is so hot right now. Done a ton of beautiful covers. He was on Dusk, Love Bites, and How to Hunt a Hero, and of course, Path of the Pale Rider. He is the interior artist for Tomorrow Girl with Antarctic Press and the creator of Gemini Force. So make sure you check out Terry Parr. And this one, this gorgeous piece of work is by Catherine Burkhart, who also stumbled upon Zombies in the West on her own. And then we met each other at Texoma Comic-Con in February. So please go pick out and support your favorite artist. We got a 2-cover combo. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just want to remind you, like, one, there is a limited re-release of issue number 1 with this gorgeous Big James cover by William Russell that you can get on this campaign. I don't know how many of these I'm going to be printing. Like, it's a very limited re-release because it is issue 1. You can get the preview of Cthulhu Invades Fairyland Volume 2 on this campaign. It's a physical copy. It's 34 pages. It has 4 stories, all in color with various indie creators involved, myself included. My story that I wrote for this anthology is Beauty and the Beast, and it is right in here. So you can get a copy of that. Or if you want to support and you want to get the whole freaking thing, my goodness, there is a green link right here that you can go over and back the full graphic novel. It's 170 pages. It's already funded. I think they're close to like 400 backers. It's great. So other stuff, you can get a squishy, you can get a laser cut wooden poker, you can upgrade your cover with a scratch and sniff. But what I really want to talk about, yes, we have hot sauce. Yes, we have unlocked 2 poker cards, but we've been unlocking these stretch goals. So the first one is always that indie PDF bundle. We unlocked this at 5,000. We unlocked this one at 55. This is the Sad Pancake Scratch and Sniff sticker. We have yet to unlock the Slice and Dice. So we haven't done that yet. So hopefully we'll get that done in the next, couple days. We have until Friday evening to unlock the Slice and Dice. And the one I really want to unlock is this one, this Zombie Deconstructed, where, of course, when your fandom are foodies, you make your stretch goals edible. And this is a fun size pack of gummies by the Candy Crypt, which is a family-owned business here in Texas. You can always click on this link to check them out because they do pop-ups and they're in the San Antonio area, just so you're aware. So if you ever do a pop-up, you could run into them if you're in San Antonio area. Super cool, super funny. They got great socials. I'm always following their TikToks, which make me laugh. But so you would be getting a pack of gummies with an eyeball, a brain, some teeth, and some gummy bears for Big James. So this is my goal, is to unlock this bad boy. I might move I'm going to move this down. I just haven't had time because I've been running. But the Zombies roasted coffee, I'm going to switch with the magnet. So if we get to 7,000, I will send each and every one of you a small bag of coffee beans roasted by yours truly. That's right. I will roast the coffee beans, and then all you got to do is grind them yourself and pour yourself a cup of coffee. Show up to the Tuesday morning brew, and we'll share a cup. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Of course, we have collaboration. I don't really want to go through the whole campaign, but just make sure that you guys check out all the stuff. There's the mug shots, and then no fat bears, people. No fat bears. There's one more thing. What are we going on? Can you eat the squishies? No, John. John from the back. This is funny because everybody asks me if they can eat the squishies. The answer is no. Don't eat the squishies. It's a bad day. So if you have small children, please don't get that squishy. If you have older kids, they will love them, because my 2 girls demanded that I make them a squishy. One other thing I wanted to show you guys, I was on a show last night called It Frickin' Figures, and it's here on the Madness, and we were talking, they do custom figures. It's super cool. They talk about making them, finding them, reselling them, and just some of the cool stuff that people can do. But where is it? I'm trying to share here. Let me stop that. I'm trying to share some of the pictures, because Zombie 13, aka Eric Bories, he made me a whole frickin' undead petting zoo, you guys. Well, I don't know if he made it for me. He made it for himself, but he made them. And if I don't get some of them, I'm going to show up at his house and probably fight him for them, because they're so stinking cute. So I want to show you. Look at this. Do. Well, it helps if I can make it bigger. Hello. Look at these. All right. He did an undead llama. And that's where he started, because we had a conversation about the sad pancakes, right? And I was like, these are so cute. And he was like, do you want to do more? And I was like, I know you're so busy, I could never ask you to just do them. I was like, if you want, because I know this is his passion, right? He likes to do stuff like this. And I was like, well, if you're going to do one, do an alpaca, because I love alpacas. And so he busts out this llama. I don't have them in a good order. But look at it. It's so amazing. He's got guts hanging out and he's just funky color. But I mean, he did this whole thing. We got chickens and cats and this pig. I can't. I was just blown away by this pig, because I was already talking with Matt Chambers and he did a little undead pig, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect. We can do a scratch and sniff, and it'll be bacon scented. It'll be funny. And then Zombie did these, and I was like, so now we have this whole gosh darn petting zoo. So it's a thing now, and I know we'll probably go. I know it's so stinking cute. I have a problem. Old McZombie had a farm. Anyway, so we'll be playing some games in the Path of the Pale Rider group. If you are not a member of the group, come find us. You have to answer one question to get in, which is, do you like comic books? And I'll let you in. And then we are going to that's funny. We are going to name all of these animals, and then we'll probably cycle through them as we go through the Kickstarters. And again, it just depends on how many Zombie can get his hands on. With that dog with Sad Pancake, he could only get his hands on, 5, and that's how we got 4 of them for the campaign. And so it just depends on what the store has in stock. But he's going to flatten this cat out, Pop, so we can have a flapjack cat, which would be funny. And I mean, like, it just, I was blown away, not only blown away by his skill and how, his artistry comes through on these, but just the fact that someone loves Path of the Pale Rider so much to spend the time to do this. So I'm always blown, I know, flapjack. I'm blown away when people walk around in my world. So I love this, and I'm humbled by this. You know what I mean? Because someone is spending this time. Speaking of walking around in Path of the Pale Rider, on Thursday, real quick, just get all these out of the way, and then Jon Westhoff, I swear to God, you can have the rest of the time. So on Thursday, we play a game stream with Christopher Brown, who runs like Slaughterville. We've played multiple times. We're going to be walking around in Path of the Pale Rider this week. He created an incredible storyline. I've already read it, and it's amazing. And we're going to create characters, and we are going to walk around in the world of Path of the Pale Rider on Thursday. So if you guys want to play an RPG in Path, you get in while you can. Like, we have spots for some more people to jump in. So it'll be your chance to see how long you survive. And that's what's going on with Path. I always feel like poor Jon Westhoff gets here and I have like so much news. And then like next week I'll be like, nah, I got nothing. So speaking of Jon, here he is. Hello, Jon. Good morning.
Hello, no worries. Hey, it's your show. You gotta chat up the end of the campaign.
I know, but
no worries.
There's one time you got here and I was like, we're all gonna watch the video. And Jon was like, okay.
She loves the videos.
You love my videos? Oh, okay.
You haven't been forcing people to watch the videos enough, I feel, in these.
No, I got like 6 videos on the freaking Kickstarter page now.
It's the whole thing now.
Right, it's a whole thing. So it's just funny. Let's see. All right. So how have you been, man? I mean, besides busy as always, but
yeah, I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. I 4th campaign of the year, 22nd, I think, Kickstarter in my long career, so I'm chugging along.
I say this every time you're on my show, but I'm always surprised and delighted, and I have a lot of respect for anybody that does as much as Jon does, because it's incredible the amount of things that he just flips through. And then it's like, I know your calendar is planned out for the rest of the year. I know it is.
Oh yeah.
See, I mean, like, I can't do it. The rest of my calendar year is like make Path, bake cookies, do Thanksgiving.
And I used to not be that way, but as I got older, I realized, I need to pencil things in so I kind of know how much I'm taking on and how much I can do,
Do you ever, is it overwhelming though to look at the calendar year and be like, oh my God, look at all the things I gotta do?
Oh yeah. Sometimes you get decision paralysis where you're like, okay, I have 3 books to letter and a Kickstarter prepare, and I haven't mowed the lawn, and then you kind of sit there and do nothing. But other times you just gotta kind of shake it off and do something. I actually have found that, like most of us, we're starting to find in this digital world that we're all a little ADHD or are
Yes.
ADHD adjacent. So it helps to kind of have, okay, I can do letters for half an hour and then I can switch to this. So it helps me to kind of have a couple things to jump around to, and then I don't feel like I have to just force through one thing. You always got something to work on, you know?
Yeah, and then I think, like, for me, I have to remember to take breaks, right? Because you get into stuff and you get so intense, and then, like, after 2 hours, if you start making mistakes, then you get frustrated, and I'm like, "Ah, I can't." So it's like, "All right, you gotta put it down and walk away for a minute and do something else." So be like, "Okay, now I'm gonna go mow the lawn." I don't mow
Absolutely.
the lawn, my husband mows the lawn, but that's my point, is, like, you just gotta go do something else for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I find, but it's like, that's a lot. And then the kids too, we were talking about kids go back to school soon and whew,
Yep. Mine's
that's
already
a lot.
started. The summer activities for high school
Mhm.
start earlier and earlier, and which is good for them to kind of ease into the, but yeah, felt like the
Uh,
summer was kind of ripped away from us a little bit.
I always try to get the kiddos to, start waking up earlier right before school so they can get back into that school schedule, and we have failed miserably this
Same.
week because I've been on, podcasts late. So, like,
Yep.
last night I finished up a pod and, it was almost 11 o'clock, and I came
Oh,
out and everything's dark and husband has gone to bed and I hear the kids upstairs.
all
I was like, "Okay, you are
right.
still awake at 11." I was like, "It's gonna
Uh-oh.
be real rough next week trying to get back up and get motivated to go to school."
Yeah.
So, it's
Yeah.
gonna
We
be
we
great,
we do the similar thing, and we always say we're going to start earlier, and then
right?
just yeah.
No, they like
Love
this
that.
is they co okay, because in the beginning of summer, they're still waking up early because they've been on that schedule all summer or all school
Mhm.
year, and so now is the point where they're finally sleeping in, and it's like, "Too late, you gotta get up early again."
It's all
What
over
is
at
this?
you.
My wife is back teaching the petri dish that is kindergarten.
Mm,
Oh, no. Do you just
yeah.
Lysol her when she gets home now? I feel like there just needs to be, like, a clean room where you just, like
Put her in the decontamination room. We
Yeah.
definitely need, my daughter seems to be the one every start of the school year she gets sick like once a month, but
Mhm.
not looking forward to that.
And then one of mine, same thing, but it's always on, like, a Friday, so she's sick over the weekend, and then I send her
Mm.
back on Monday. I was like, "Sorry, your whole weekend was being a burrito, but get back to school."
Get out of here.
Right. If my dog thinks I've been doing art for too long, she'll come over and slap me. That's funny. Does she nose boop you or she slap you with the tail or is she slapping you with her paw? How'd that work? Wow, everybody's in the chat this morning. Good morning. We have a friend that is an elementary music teacher. She ends up sick almost immediately. Yeah, I feel like I don't know how you combat that. It's like, do you take a lot of vitamin C, echinacea, zinc,
Yep.
something, before you go?
Wash
Like
your
2
hands.
days?
Start the
Wash your
school year
hands.
wearing a protective mask, whatever you got to do. I
I
think
think
most teachers should probably do that.
Yeah, I was like, I think they should all be doing this already. Y'all need to learn how to OD your immune system.
Just go around licking fence poles and get all
Yeah,
the
don't
disease.
do that. Be like, "We have named Oh, John, welcome to the ER. I have good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Um, good news is you get to name a new disease.
Yay.
Bad news is we don't have a cure." Oh my gosh, Concred. Yep. I mean, have you ever gotten Concred? I don't even
Yeah, a few times, shake
Yeah,
too many hands, now that we've moved kind of to the age of, fist bumps and stuff like that, it seems to help. People are a little better
yeah.
about sanitizing themselves and washing their hands and stuff, but I
Mhm.
haven't gotten it in a while. Sometimes I
Um,
feel like when people describe the con crud, it's just the exhaustion of the weekend and eating like crap and staying up too late and running, you know what I mean? But sometimes
yeah.
you do come home with little sniffles or something.
I always feel like I have to be a burrito for a day. Like, just wrap me in a blanket, come check
Yeah,
on me in 6
decompress.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feed Yeah, I was like, eating like crap is totally a thing. Like, I usually bring my food. Do you ever bring your food to a con?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
My
try to.
my co-tablers always tease me because I bring like a whole bunch of stuff.
Morning, George.
I've always
I
got the snack.
know. I have this ongoing joke where I try to feed Marco DeFio carrot sticks when we're at a con together. I'm like, "Would you like a carrot?" And he was like, "What's with you and the carrots?" Because it's every con. I'm like, "Do you want a carrot?"
Yep, carrots, grapes. Yeah, you gotta. You got to keep your body with good fuel in it. If you just eat the garbage and Monster Energy
Yeah.
drinks all week, you just crash, especially if it's a multi-day con.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had pizza we went to a one-day con. Oh, I don't know if I told you this. Jim Lee was in Texas, and he was at NTX, so I was there for the day. And I know, I'm sorry. And so there was a ton of people there. My husband, this was the first time he came to work a Comic-Con with me, and found out that Jim Lee, he was like, "Who's Jim Lee?" And so I was explaining to him who Jim Lee is currently, because he's there, not past tense. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get in line." And so he was gone for like half the day. I was like, "You're supposed to come help me." And Marco was like, "No, he's just gonna go spend your money." And I was like, "Damn it." I was like, trying to make some money.
Classic.
It's just funny. So, but yeah, it's like that was just really funny. I think that it's like, here he is. There he goes. He's in the line. It's like, "Do you want a carrot stick?" So we had pizza, and it was just terrible. It was like cardboard crust, and felt gross after that. So got to bring the food, cut down the cost. I don't know how much that pizza cost, but it's probably like $20 a pizza.
Yeah, 14, 15 probably.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing, right? Keep those costs low, keep your body feeling good. You definitely got to do it as you get into these later years, and we won't comment on our actual ages, but yeah. When I was 25, it was a lot different than when I was 35.
Are you older than me?
I think so. I'm 44.
I'm also 44.
Oh,
I was like, okay. I just cover up my grace really well.
I let them shine these days.
Yeah, I don't have facial hair, and I know that's where it starts on the men, right?
Yep. I got the Reed Richards thing going a little bit.
That's cool. I think that looks good on guys. So
men usually are lucky. The gray hair makes them look more distinguished. But
yeah, Dante wants meds. Anytime George shows up, Dante shows up like, "What you got for me?" Boomers.
Oh, we're not boomers.
Thanks, Dylan. What did you miss? I don't know. Just Dylan calling us boomers because we're talking about our gray hair.
So we're old, and we got to bring healthy food to the convention.
Yeah. Speaking of old, I was gonna do a stunt for some publicity. I was gonna put on the big James suit and roll down this big hill in my neighborhood. Yeah. And I kept getting closer to the date I was supposed to record it, and I was just like, nah. Maybe I'll work myself up to it, but I was like, my friend is a nurse, so I asked her to come and watch.
Can you put my bones back in when I roll on this?
Yeah. I was like, put my shoulder back together, please. When I roll my ass down this hill. I might still do it. I don't know.
People, we all talk about it, but it is true, man. You hit that 40 hump, and then all of a sudden things start falling apart. Like I think I was goofing around with my kids and like jumped down a couple steps, things you used to do when you were 20. And I was like, my back was in shock for like 2 days. Like, what are you doing?
You hear something crunch. I was like, oh, like, don't move.
It is so true, man. What they say, I just hate it. As soon as I turned 40, it's like things just started deteriorating. But we're not dead yet.
No, we're not dead yet. We still got lots to do. So I wanted to ask you about your new podcast, right? Because we've known each other for a while now, but you just started podcasting, which I think is long overdue. You should have had a podcast forever, right? So you have a co-host who is Chad, and Dave Whalen is also your co-host as well.
That's right.
Or if he just like, I felt like I've seen the show and I didn't see Dave, and then I showed up and then Dave was there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, he's the one who actually got us together, Dave Whalen and Chad Perkins. I forget how him and Chad met, but they kind of put out the call that they were trying to gather some like-minded people to really, to do a show, but also to just have a group that cheers each other on and helps promote each other's stuff and things like that. And that's kind of how it started. So David really actually was, but he was the stalwart for the first couple months, and then stuff comes up. He's also a teacher. He's got some summer things going on. But yeah, we've had some other participants, but we started with 6, and then schedules and things didn't exactly line up, and now we're down to 3. But yeah, I in the long ago, I've actually done several podcasts.
Really?
With different varying themes, mostly around comics.
Mhm.
I did a podcast, the Spectacular Spider Cast, for a long time. I was invited onto that show when the co-host left. I have dipped my toes a few times, but I'm glad to be on this one now. It's called the Cosmos Comics Collective. If anybody's wondering, we
Yep.
have a Facebook group and a Discord, and yeah, it's really just independent creators talking about the craft, encouraging each other. We try to have like a theme every week. Laurie was one of our first guests on the show.
Mhm.
So we're still kind of in our infancy and kind of finding our legs, but it's fun to be back into the realm of, video casting or podcasting again with the guys.
So my question was, how did Weird Al Yankovic come into this?
So Chad and I have been friends online for a while. David and I are just getting to know each other, and it's fun kind of getting to know other people and what they nerd out about. We all have our certain things. Usually there's a common theme, right? In this case, comics and comics creation. But yeah, we were talking about music, and David's like, I know a lot of people don't like him, but he just really likes Weird Al, and he was just nerding out about it. And both Chad and I found out, we were like, of course we love Weird Al. Everyone loves Weird Al. He should play the Super Bowl. He's the one who unites us all.
That would be awesome.
When he unfortunately leaves this plane, will be a dark day for many a generation of people. I still remember hearing him on like Dr. Demento and those kind of shows, so 40, 50 years worth of music. So that was how it started. It was like David felt like, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody else I can talk to Weird Al about. So we were joking about kind of doing a running theme where we talk about, we argue about best Weird Al songs and best stuff like that. So that's how it kind of came in, where we were trying to drag you into our Weird Al tribute podcast.
They were like, Laurie, do you know anything about Weird Al? I was like, I know some things. They're like, would you say you're an expert? I was like, no, I would not.
And because they were talking about, we're supposed to do that next week, but you're having Laurie on, and I'm like, I'm just gonna cold call her and not explain to her anything. It's just like, what do you know about Weird Al?
What do you know about Weird Al? I was like, nah. I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, not much. I was like, I know some things, but not a lot. Like, it's like, don't base your show around that. It'll be a very quiet show. It'll be like, it'll be you talking and me asking you questions.
That's okay too. But yeah, we decided to make the better choice and talk to you about, your comics career and how you got here and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, I could talk about it. See, I knew that it was like Weird Al is a legend. So there's a lot of people out there that like Weird Al. I mean, like, who doesn't like Weird Al? I wouldn't call us all experts, but I definitely enjoy what he does. I think it's funny. And I 100% agree with you that it would be the best Super Bowl halftime show if Weird Al was there. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Are you listening, universe? Make it happen.
Yeah, universe. All the influence we have over the NFL.
Right. I'm like, we're just going to start dropping that. Maybe people will start talking about it, and the AI will figure it out. Something.
And one thing I will say for Weird Al fans out there,
yeah,
he hasn't dipped his toes enough, I think, into other entertainment. But part of what we were also talking about was David had brought up the underrated movie UHF that Weird Al did.
Yeah.
If people don't know, he did a mockumentary about himself and his career, called Weird: The Al Yankovic Story, starring Daniel Radcliffe. It is so great. If you are a fan of Weird Al, there's so many like inside jokes about his songs and things like that. And they play it very straight, so it's really funny. It was just amazing. So if you haven't checked that out, like, he doesn't go into film too often, but both of his, feature movies are just absolute legendary pieces of cinema.
Can we see that one? What's it called? What's the Daniel Radcliffe one called?
It's called Weird: The Al Yankovic Story. So
Weird the Al. Yeah, Weird.
It was on Roku to start. I remember that. That was like the first thing that got me to try Roku or one of those.
Yeah, it's free on Roku. And then it says Google Play, Fandango, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV. You can pay to watch it there on all of those. Amazon Prime, it's only $2.99.
And I think Roku is free, so I think that was part of there.
Yep, it's free if you have a Roku.
Check it out. It's so worth it. It's amazing. And I'm surprised, again, it's not a huge budget movie. A lot of people, even fans of his, seem like they hadn't even heard that he did it, but it is perfect.
There's a ton of people in it too. Wow.
Yeah, a ton of cameos. Sounds like he called in like all the favors of a
Did he?
lifetime.
Yeah, he was just. Well, I mean, like if you get a call from Weird Al, they were like, "Hey, you want to be in my movie?" Yes. What's the movie about? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Sign me up. Evan Rachel Wood. I don't know who this guy is. Spencer Treat Clark, Julianne Nicholson, Jack Black, Will Forte, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Seth Green.
A ton of cameos.
It's a ton of people. Cool. That's on my. I got so many movies on my list right now. I was telling Chad yesterday where it's just like I found a show that I was like, I found this new show on Apple TV. It's called Defending Jacob. And he was like, that's from 2020. And I was like, it is. That's how far behind I am.
Oh my God. Yeah. My stack of movies to watch is only trumped by my stack of comics to read. So
exactly. I was like,
we're gonna have all this time, but
I know. Like, I just need to start making posts like, don't talk to me, I'm reading. Like, I gotta catch up. It's like I'm still trying to read Immortal Era. Like he sent it to me forever ago, and I'm like, I got through the trade 1 through 6, and now it's like go back and do 7, 8, 9, 10 because he's on 11, and I was just like, God, I need to read that. I need to read.
And that's why I'm such a bad fan and friend. I'm the dirty trade reader because I know that I won't read the singles. They'll just sit there.
I will,
but the trade, I'll concertedly try to make the effort to get through.
I think I need to just like put a day where I'm like, okay, I turn off all the notifications. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm just gonna have quiet time and just catch up on my to be read pile. I got lots of stuff. I got novels. Like I got Dash Hooper's Western, which I really want to read, and I
know novels are tough.
Dash,
you got to do the audiobook, okay? Then I'll catch up.
Yeah. We totally should, because we all know that we're all too goddamn busy with our hands and eyes. But if you put something on, we can listen to it.
Love it. Love a good audiobook.
We should totally do that.
Really and to Lou's question, not to be the Weird Al historian here and now turn this into Weird Al. Yes. He said only 2 people have ever outright declined to have him do a song, and that was Paul McCartney, who later changed his mind, and Prince, who obviously he can never get. But I at least that's what he says the story is. So he hasn't come up with too many roadblocks, I think, because people over time started to realize that actually him doing the parody boosts their songs and they get royalties and stuff like that. So most people came around to it. Some said they hadn't agreed, and he had to kind of tell them, well, your people who own your music agreed, so sorry about that. But it sounds like there was only 2 holdouts, and then one, of course, he'll never be able to get. Unless he goes to Prince's state now, but maybe he kind of wants to respect that.
Yeah, Prince was very particular about his music and his likeness, and had rules. Like he knew what was coming with like holograms, and wasn't there was a big drama when didn't they do his hologram at one of the Super Bowls, and it was like he said he never wanted to be used again after he had passed.
Or Michael Jackson after he died or something, but
I think Michael Jackson, but it's hard when it's like if you're passing before the technology exists, you can't put it in your will or your end of life notice that you can't use my likeness in technology that doesn't exist. But Prince was like, you can never use my likeness, and they did. I don't know if his estate agreed to it, but I was like, he's rolling in his grave right now.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the real Prince shows up. Just like, God damn it, I said no. Like, who's that skeleton? Yeah, wasn't it the one with Justin Timberlake?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I forget. We'll have to Google it, but there was big to do about it. Paul McCartney has done some questionable songs under his own steam.
For sure.
And then there was a whole thing where Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog under Paul McCartney from underneath him. That was a big deal. And that's why we have all sorts of music from Michael Jackson we probably shouldn't. Come together. Sorry. Let's talk about more comics. I mean, like we can talk more music and comics, but let's talk
about a music comic. Hey, there we go.
Drumsticks of Doom. Where are we at? This is 3 of 3. This is the ultimate, the final, the end.
It is
Say it
the
isn't
end.
so.
It is the end of this arc. So we
Okay.
set out in Drumsticks of Doom, um, kind of like Hellboy or other series that they kind of break it up into mini series, but they're kind of a continuing story. We definitely had that plan to begin with.
Gotcha.
Um, there's value in kind of just continuing the numbering, but we wanted to do some time jumping and kind of make it clear that these are three separate arcs. So this is actually the end of the second arc. So the penultimate arc, it's beginning, middle, and end type of arc
Yeah.
to it here. The first arc, we got the band together, right? That's how you start.
Mhm.
The second arc, you record your album. So that's where we're at. And then
Cool.
we can't get to the world tour unless we get through the album here. But who's going to make it through on the other side? That's why you got to read and see who's going to go on the tour after this. This is a big action heavy issue. It's again the end of the second arc, seventh issue in the series. And I'm very happy. Dan and I have been working on this book for almost 5 years. And next year really is going to be focusing on finishing the Drumsticks of Doom arc with approximately issue 10. And but we can't get there until we get through this arc. So we're hoping for a big push here at the end.
So technically, this is your issue 7.
Correct.
Yeah, 7 all around.
Yeah, and I remember you
Right?
saying how big it was. There's a huge
Mhm.
deal in your issue 7. There is for ours too. I've been waiting. Probably 10 years ago, wrote down notes for certain characters and scenes, and finally to see them
Mhm.
with my amazing co-creator Dan Doherty on art,
Wow.
just to see him bring it to life finally after because indie comics, they move a little slower sometimes, and
Mhm.
it took me a long time to even approach Dan with the story and find wanted to work with the right artist for the right project. So I've been waiting for so many moments in this book to come, and now they've come, and there's a lot of action, a lot of drama happens in this issue. And like you said about Path of the Pale Rider, this is a big one.
Yeah.
And
Well, how do you okay, so I have a really hard time sitting on that secret. So there's a couple people that know because I had to talk about it, right? Do you have people that know the secret that's coming in this issue besides your co-creator? Because obviously they're in on it.
I have a very handful of select peers.
Yeah.
We're in like kind of a Discord chat, people I've worked with and been friends with for years. They kind of know the basics, but I do kind of keep some of the, even for them, keep some of the twists tight to the chest,
Yeah.
just to see kind of their genuine reaction. I
That's
haven't
me.
let anybody do any pre screenings of the finals.
I did that because again, it's like I've been hyping up this issue for so long. It's like, can people really believe me? Because of course I'm excited about my own series, right?
Hmm.
And so it's like that's why I figured like let someone else get their eyes on it and give a reaction so they can see like it's not just me, the hype is real, you know.
The hype is
But
real.
I didn't let any of them read the end, John. And so they're all mad. And like one of them even afterwards was like, "What can I give you so that I can read the rest of that script?" And I was like,
Oh, wow.
"Nope."
Well,
Like, I love you, but no.
I unfortunately just keep manic notes, and where I want to go. So I don't have like a script to even present to them. That will, come later when I finally put all the ideas together. But
Right. And that's part of it. So it's like you gotta sit on that secret for so long. And um that's part of the excitement is to kind of like let people in on the joke or the secret that's coming. And I can't wait. Like this is exciting to me. I love this image too. Can we play your video?
you can.
Oh,
It's
excellent.
short and sweet.
We like short and sweet.
We'll know for the first time if we're evil or divine with a lasting life. Yeah, with a lasting life.
So I'm glad that you brought up the video, because you see, if you go to Laurie's campaign, Path of the Pale Rider 1 through 7, she puts a
Yeah.
lot of time into the videos. She has many videos, multiple videos. It's a whole video stream. As we mentioned before, got a lot of plates in the air at one time. It kind of came to crunch time, and I said, you know what? I do not have time to fight with video
No.
editors. I'm going to take this awesome commercial that somebody made, helped me make, and I'm just going to put that's my video. And call it whatever you want. I know it drives people like our wonderful friend Matt Campbell from.
I know. I was going to say, don't put it on his Wheel of Destiny. He'll have words for
and
you.
I missed by one thing last week, and I was just waiting for him to just be like, John, this is the laziest crap.
What is this? Their thing is what do we know from watching this video? And Smurf would be like, nothing.
Nothing. And he's ripped apart many of my videos in the past. So sorry, Matt. This time I literally didn't even have time to make a bad video. I didn't have time at all. I just said, you know what? It's
you
just
need to put something there.
Too much. I'll get back to it with the next campaign. So sorry if anybody enjoyed the videos that we had done in the past. This time around, we went a little it snuck up on us.
Minimalist.
And we went minimalist.
It's minimalist video. So
but hopefully it gets you hyped at least to look at the campaign. Obviously a big inspiration there, Ronnie James Dio, and I love that commercial that my friend Rich helped me make. So not a bad thing to have in the back. I forgot about that.
Oh no, you demonetized my video, John.
Uh-oh. We have to cut that part out.
Yep. Sorry, Pops. Anywho, just in case there's anybody watching the show that has not heard of Jon Westhoff and Drumsticks of Doom, why don't you give us the kind of elevator pitch for the series?
Well, the elevator pitch for myself is I'm Jon Westhoff. I'm the writer, letterer, publisher for Part-Time Comics, which is just a vanity name to put on projects that I help co-create. It's a publishing company to house my own vain ideas. And our flagship title, so to speak, is Drumsticks of Doom. What if Black Sabbath, not the Beatles, became the most popular band in the world? Thus, the universe would be changed forever. Heavy metal would rule the earth. But our main character, Lana, just finds a magic pair of drumsticks when she's thrust into a war to keep heavy metal on the top of the charts. So I'm a former, I guess I could be current, but I'm a former drummer turned.
You don't have time to be a drummer. Shut up.
So what do you do when you get out of making music? You write comics about making music.
Right.
And that's part of how Drumsticks of Doom came to be. It's again, it's by far our most popular title at Part-Time Comics. It's a pretty easy sell at conventions. I have amazing artists like Dan Doherty work on it. We've been very blessed with the series. It's really carried Part-Time Comics the last few years.
And this alligator.
This alligator who took a life of his own. He's an alligator spider. He's an arachnigator, Argyle the arachnigator. For those who've been following the series, you see he's in dire straits there. So
no.
What's going to happen? You got to get the issue to find out.
Save the animal. They always want to save the animal, except for, well, and then there's my series where I just kill them all. This is cool too. I like how there's a link here with a 10-page preview of issue number 1, so people can again get a taste for it and see if that's for them before they just jump in with both feet.
Yeah, if you're new to the series, we like, we want people to catch up. It's also the first issue is free on Global Comics if you're a Global Comics user. We want to get people into the series. I know other people, put preview pages on there. I try not to clog the Kickstarter campaign up too much because it's a lot to scroll through and expect people. So easier to hit you with the link, and then when you want to check it out, preview those first 10 pages of the book.
This is a cool cover. Look at this, guys.
Yeah, amazing. Another Illinois boy, Jonathan Grimm. We've actually been sitting on this. You talk about sitting on things in a secret.
Yeah,
he actually did this cover for me. Gosh, it had to have been 2 years ago. And I saw him do a similar cover. He does tons of heavy metal art. He's a big heavy metal guy. And I asked him, can you do this character who now people have seen in the series? Which again, we knew one of the characters was going to become a Frankenstein's monster of metal. And, obviously, again, you don't want to tell people right away, but we've kind of just sat on this cover and this reveal for this character for now, multiple years. And it's been so painful not to be able to show it.
I know. Isn't that terrible? I'm like, I got this super cool stuff and I can't show anybody. No, I don't like it. Again, that's when you go to your handful of people like, look at this. And they're like, that's cool. When can I get it?
Yeah. They're like, leave me alone, man. We don't care.
That's funny. This is
that's
cool
our main cover from
is
Portland artist Brian Chirilla. He's actually our first returning artist for covers. Brian's a huge heavy metal guy too. That's part of why I wanted to bring him on. He's also an amazing artist. I knew would do an awesome job. But he actually he sketched out 2 examples for the first arc. He was also cover artist. And I just couldn't say no to both. I was like, you know what? I love both. So again, if you've been reading along with the series, you know that Lana is kind of, she is haunted by this shadowy figure that we can't quite figure out just yet. And that's all I really told him. And he was like, I got you. So once I saw his little sketch, I was like, oh, now you got to do both covers. But again,
right,
I can only put one out at a time. So I've been sitting on it for multiple years, just waiting.
Oh my gosh.
And
it looks like a mushroom cloud to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It's supposed to be like,
blown away.
you know, like that nuclear of a shadowy figure. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
You can get this cover in real
Sarah.
metal. We do the metal covers, which our fans love. This is the cover you can get in metal.
Ooh, that's gonna look fabulous. And you guys, when you see on a Kickstarter that it's a metal or a wooden cover or a foil cover, it's like I haven't found a picture yet that does these things justice. The metal covers have like a tactile feel to them because the black lines are raised, and it's just that shiny, gorgeous, metal. It's lush. You know what I mean?
It is so cool. And I thought it was the stupidest thing when I first heard of it. I'm like, who's gonna pay
until you see one.
Yeah, and then I'm walking by a booth at C2E2 for Brian Polito, who does Lady Death.
Yeah.
And I picked one up and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I need one.
I have a heavy metal comic. Why don't I have heavy metal covers?
Exactly.
They are so cool. And we work with Fairy Photography out of Las Vegas. They do an amazing job. They're individually printed and affixed to the comic. They're really cool.
Lou, I don't know how you do it, man.
Just a little bit more. Not the best picture, but like Laurie was saying, I tried to kind of capture
just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. You can't ever get the right angle for it. They're really cool. I have to admit. I always order one for myself when I order one too. So
me too. It's like you have to get one for your collection. And I'm slacking. I know I do so much crapola, but I actually have extra metals for issues 1 and 4 that I haven't put together. And I need to cut extras of 5 and 6 out of the wood so I can take those to cons.
Yeah.
I have medals of 2 and 3. I only got 1 left for issue 2. And I got I think 4 left of issue 3. So it's like, I've been trying to sell through them because I've been carrying them around with me forever. You know what I mean? It's one of those, someone needs to love this, please.
Absolutely. I'm laughing numbers. We do very short runs of these because they are so expensive to print. Like our Maria Wolf cover for issue 1 is down to just a handful of those amazing metal covers.
That one was gorgeous. It is such a that Wolf cover was amazing. I remember seeing it and getting blown away by the art on that one. So I can see why it's.
I don't praise myself often, but I will say I know how to pair an artist with the right project. And I've been very blessed with who's agreed to do awesome covers and interiors for us.
I don't know if you saw Sarah nerding out in the comments, but that was hilarious, Sarah. Oh my God. And Lou saying that she has art no one has seen yet, but it doesn't bother me one bit. Why? I would like to see
some things are for yourself. Yeah.
I guess as an artist. Yeah. Me as the creator, when someone makes me art, I'm like, look at this, like everybody look, everybody see it. It's gorgeous. So I can't help myself. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Let's show off this guy. He's so cute.
Argyle. He's again, for those new to the series, we needed in this kind of universe that, is about witchcraft and alchemy and heavy metal. I had the idea that, there'd be different creatures around, right? People would experiment with, these kind of freaky monstrosities. And I asked my then at the time 8-year-old daughter, hey, what would it look like if we crossed an alligator with a spider? And she drew me this awesome little sketch. I showed it to Dan. I was like, we got to put it in the book. And Argyle was born from Dan and Kylie's brains and onto the page. He's taken on a life of his own. People love Argyle. I love Argyle. It's fun. My daughter, now 11, goes to conventions with me, and she gets to say, I'm the co-creator of this. And
that's so
it's been a whole fun sub thing that came out of this book. So Argyle's got stickers. He's got 3D D&D figures. He's got a plushie that we custom made. He's an awesome little mascot for the book.
How did he get his name?
I think we wanted it like the A alliteration name, and we have a cat named Archie, and that was the first suggestion. And I said, well, in case anything happens bad to Archie in the book, I don't want him to be named after our cat. So
right.
I just said the name just Argyle kind of popped into my mind, because of their multicolored skin. And then I was like, oh, that sticks. Let's go with that.
Got it. I was like an Argyle sock, right?
Yeah.
It's a pattern. Look at this cutie.
And there she is a couple of years ago modeling our hat.
That's awesome.
And, creation a lot of times can feel kind of lonely or kind of by yourself typing these scripts, maybe working with a couple of people. So to be able to involve your family and friends is really fun for me. So my kids get excited. They look at the pages while I'm lettering and, oh, what's going to happen to this person? And, and again, the whole Argyle thing it's been really fun thing to share.
My kids usually get mad at me. They're like, what did you do to Sad Pancake? I'm like, it's okay. Like, it'll be okay. Here's that wolf cover I was talking about, everybody. This one where he's holding she, excuse me, is it she holding the drumsticks?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then the wolf in the background.
So cool.
It's just such a cool cover. And that in metal would be gorgeous. Right?
It is something to see. We only printed 25 of them for the public, so they're mostly sold out now. But yeah.
And then this cover. Which wolf one were you talking about? This one or that one?
I was talking about the first one. Yeah, that's Maria.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, that's the one that I remember. But I was like, oh, this one too.
But then, yeah, that's Brian Chirilla. He did the wolf mastheads on the guitar, so that one's really cool. I've just been very blessed, and most of my cover artists, I give them kind of some direction if they ask, and they almost always, just turn in these amazing things. We did do some homage covers, which people were into.
Did you say homage?
Homage.
I thought you said the H. Don't pronounce the H on that one, right? Cool whip.
I like to say it like that. What?
Cool whip. It's a homage. Sorry.
But this is to Fuseli's The Nightmare there, Matt Festa, another local guy on the right there with the wolf on the woman. Yeah. So we've done some homage covers. We've kind of, with the second arc, I've wanted the artists to kind of work how they want to. So we've done less of the homage covers in the second arc.
Yeah.
But people really love those on the first one.
Is there like this subliminal boobs in this one?
I don't think that was Matt's intention, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's very much comfortable in the realm of realistic fantasy, naughty fantasy art. So that's kind of it. I will be honest that the series is more PG-13. That's about as risque as we get with this cover there.
And I mean, like if you have spice in the book, then put spice on the cover so people know what they're getting. But this cracked me up. I was like, I think these are boobs.
I think you could be right. That was not my direction. Just for
it's subliminal. It's like ever so slightly there.
Ever so slightly. And then you see you can't catch up on the second arc here. We have our featured tier is a standard catch-up tier at a great price. We also have catch-up tiers on all the variants, which again, we print a very limited amount. So those are getting close to selling out. We try to reward those who want to jump in late and give them a chance to catch up. So we have catch-ups. You can actually get every metal cover in a catch-up if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
We make it easy, just kind of one click and catch up on the whole series in print or digital.
Cool.
We've had a lot of people catching up this time. It's always a great feeling to have 10 or 15 people say, I just found your series. Give me all the issues.
Yeah.
And digital too. Again, we try to do affordable digital. So we certainly love our digital backers who are like, yeah, just give me everything one click.
Yes. I've been getting a lot of the digital catch up this time around as well. And so that's great.
What's up, Tim, in the chat?
Tim's here. Doom. Love it. Sorry, my screens overlap. And so when I'm like clicking around in here, I can't see the chat. So let me see here. Let's go. It has witchcraft in it. Take my money. See, Dylan, this is why I love this show, is because Dylan's newer to the brew and you haven't had the chance to meet Jon Westhoff before. And that's why people should continue to come on the brew. It's like you might find a new reader, that's just new to the brew. And Dylan, I love that this could be your new favorite thing. Like that's exciting to me when people are on the show and they're like, oh, I've been looking for this, because you're not getting good stuff in Hollywood. You're getting reboot, recycle, prequel, sequel. All the good stuff is in indie. That's where we are. And Jon's an incredible writer. So I love this. I love this.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and Dylan mentioned witchcraft. It's funny because again, I had mentioned part of the reason I got into comic creation was I was kind of transitioning out of making music and still, looking for something creative to do, and kind of came over. I'm a lifelong comic reader, but never really had aspirations to write or create. Met some great people online. They were willing to, work with me on some projects, and that's how it started. But I always had this kind of music story in the back of my mind. When you're a musician or you really love music, it's kind of always part of your thinking, your daily process. And so the story really was about, somebody finding their way through the music scene and all the trials and tribulations that could come with that. But then I realized, well, no one's going to read my sad sack emo story about, somebody whose band dreams didn't take off. I have to add werewolves. I need witches. So that actually is how some of the fantastical kind of backwards engineered. I had an initial scene where the person's arriving late to practice and they're jamming out. And then it just popped into my head that a werewolf is going to burst through the wall. And then I had to go backwards and we'll go, why was that werewolf there? And that's when I finally came to this part about Black Sabbath becoming the biggest band in the world, and how all the stuff that your aunties and uncles told you and your grandparents, if you listen to heavy metal, hell's going to come to earth. Well, it all happened, right? So I had to kind of backwards engineer the story.
You're not helping, John. Making it worse. People will now think that it really can happen. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're far enough removed from that insanity where they can kind of take it as satirical. But there are still people.
I mean, come on. You're like, and we were speaking about boomers earlier. That's that generation. Like, don't play D&D. You'll open a doorway to hell. It's like, okay.
Oh Lord.
This is a good read. I have this cover right here too, which I love. This Argyle over the skull. So cool.
Another local Chicago guy. I love to work with my local artist, Andy Vanderbilt. He's a big Godzilla artist. So of course I wanted to give him, the creature character to draw for the book. I said, can you give me an Argyle cover? He needs some more cover time. And he nailed it.
Yeah. That one's so cool. And again, like in foil or in metal, that would just be so cool.
Yeah, now I will give a slight spoiler to your audience. We have not done the variants in metal.
Oh,
we are considering, as we get to the end of once we get to the end of the series, maybe we'll do a very limited run of the variants, because people ask for them all the time. Like that one with the Lana's face as a skull, by Jonathan LaMantia. The people want that one. I do too.
Yeah.
So we may do something for our awesome metal collectors.
You have to do a book fair. Seriously, you have so many books where it's just like, instead of campaigning for, the new issue, it's just like, all right, everybody, here's the book fair.
Well, I've done subscription tiers in the past. I may do that again. We do, hold my shipping program where, we know people are going to back all the books, and I'm always thinking of ways to do that. I've done, 3 books at once on a Kickstarter.
God.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's difficult to kind of pitch 3 books, but
Lord.
Again, when you're going to have 75 or 100 of the same people come back, it's also much easier just to kind of throw it up for them, let them back, and then, kind of share it out. But I don't recommend doing more than 2 books in a campaign. I've done 3 to 5 as subscription plans. But yeah, I'm always kind of thinking of different ways I can spend a little less time crowdfunding and a little more time creating. And sometimes it does help to do multiple books.
Well, because you're in multiple books and you have all these campaigns, it's like, I still don't know how you get anything done, because it's like, I spend so much time on my stinking thing. I can't imagine like having to do it 6 times a year. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once you've done it long enough, I do think you get somewhat into the rhythm. Kickstarter, as you know, has done a great job helping us with, now being able to import previous add-ons and tiers. So that's helped a lot.
Yeah.
You just gotta, I don't want to say stay organized, because you can probably see my office behind me.
It's true though. You kind of have to, and it's just,
you just have to kind of stay chipping away at it and making sure things are moving forward. Art is being produced, letters, do a little bit of each of the things you have to do. And then eventually, you're like, okay, it's launch day again. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Triage. It's all about triage. What needs to get done first?
Exactly. And I've worked in hospitals for many years, so maybe that kind of prepared me for, put this fire out now. Put this fire out. Put this.
I didn't know how spot on I was with that comment. That's accurate, right? Tell us more about these anthologies that you've been in. So are these available on the campaign? Like
They are. All of our books are available.
Yeah.
We also, nothing is better than the feeling of putting up a tier that says buy all my crap that I've made, and somebody plunks down their hard-earned $100 or whatever. Because at this point, I think Part-Time Comics, we have 19 books we've been a part of in the last 5 or 6 years. A couple from my previous endeavors, but we have almost 20 books. And when somebody goes, yeah, give me everything, that's an amazing feeling. Including, I went about 15 years with never being invited to an anthology ever. I've made many anthologies myself with other co-creators and put them out, but I never had someone actually reach out to me and be like, hey, we think you'd be really good for this story. And I was so blessed to have Travis Gibb from Orange Gone Productions reach out to me last year to participate in the phenomenon that is Cthulhu Invades Universe. And in this case, it was Neverland. That was the first time I was ever offered a job as an anthology gig, and I was so excited to do it. And then everybody started calling after that.
Yeah.
George Alvarez invited me to the Phantasmagoria, and then I was able to submit and be accepted for the Set List, which is a music-themed anthology. So I had a busy year for anthologies out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a perfect fit for you. The Set List, right?
And then we actually did a short Drumsticks of Doom story with a guest artist, Laura Helsby. All of those books are available as add-ons. I went my whole career without, and then all of a sudden it was like feast or famine. I had too many to do. Actually, to be honest with you, I was supposed to have a fourth that I was invited to that unfortunately is stuck in production delays, but I should have a fourth anthology coming any day now. How lucky am I?
That's awesome. I have 2 that I've done, but so I'm not quite as cool as
it took me
John
15
yet.
years to get in.
Okay. So I was like, I'm still not as cool as
You're
John.
way ahead of me. And actually, I think we both were invited to Cthulhu Invades Fairyland. So that's also a Kickstarter.
I got Beauty and the Beast in there, which
ooh,
I did some things.
I have the Cthulhu Invades Neverland. If you haven't seen these from Orange Cone,
they're so nice. Look at that.
They're beautifully printed. The thing is massive. It's like 60 stories. I was very excited to get this in the mail, and I did get a couple copies from Travis, so it is available as an add-on right now. Or if you go to the Fairy Tales campaign now, you can also get it there.
Yeah, that's the 170-page one I was talking about earlier, and you can get a copy. I got mine. I like how I was very tempted to do this where he has like some damaged ones from the last batch because I rebind books, right?
Oh, that's a good
idea. I was
like,
I could totally rebind these, but I don't know. I might do that with the second one if he has damaged copies, because at least my name's in there. It'd be weird if I'm like, buy this book, I'm not in it. Like,
sure. But you're in that universe, that's okay.
Right. So, okay. So Lou, he actually meant hold my shipping. This is something really cool that John does. And here it is. We're on that part of the campaign. So let's talk about it. What is hold my shipping?
Well, if you're ever at a convention, I will hold your beer while you look through the table. That's come up often. I have a lot of books. There's not a lot of space on the table. So please, don't feel bad asking me to hold your drink. But we have a lot of backers who I noticed over the years. I see their names over and over again. It's such a great feeling to see people return year after year after year. But I'm always kind of agonizing about how to not only myself have to ship less times a year, but also save money to those loyal backers who come back. So we launched last year and it was a great success. The Hold My Shipping program is basically at any point throughout the year, if you choose Hold My Shipping, if you know you're going to back one of our other books, again, we're on the 4th one now, 5th one will be in September. If you just choose this add-on, it's $1 to add the shipping weight to the next thing, but I'll refund your shipping after. And then in the next Kickstarter, or whenever you decide to cash out, so to speak, you just let me know and we'll work out shipping. We have several backers who've backed all 4 books already this year. They're likely planning to get the 5th too. So at the end of the year, they're going to get a huge package from me. They're going to save, dozens of dollars on shipping. And we get about 5 to 10 each campaign. And again, that's a great feeling. They're saying, okay, I trust you enough. I know that you will work this out. You will either produce all the books you say you're going to, or you'll get this shipped to me. I'll I'll trust you and choose hold my shipping. So it's been a good success. I hope that the readers really appreciate. It's somewhat on the back end hard to navigate logistically, but I think we've got it down pat this year.
I was going to say, I'm like, it sounds like extra work on your end, but it pays off to the readers, who are in for the whole series here. So we got Drumsticks of Doom, LCS, Final Heist, and CPS. And so you guys can get, like, this is the schedule. I love that you give us the schedule, of when these are going to come out. And so it's easy to see, like, oh, okay, well, I can wait until, like this one, and especially if you're planning on giving gifts, where it's like, there's 2 Drumsticks of Doom. You might as well wait. You know what I mean? Like, and if this is a gift for somebody, just make sure that you cash out and pay for your shipping after that one. And John will ship you the books and you can have them. So it makes sense. Instead of paying $12, pay $6.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I mean, it adds up, especially because, behind the scenes, we're always struggling with international shipping.
yes.
And we have a handful of international backers who are amazing and back all or most of our projects every year. And it was really with them in mind. Like, if I can ship it one time to you for 25 or 4 times at 21, which would you rather do?
Right.
And I think they really appreciate that.
Yep. It's expensive.
I hate when I see most of my campaign goal, a huge chunk of it, go to the USPS. I love my postal workers, all those people out there. But it's like, well, what are we really doing here when we're just keeping the post office in business and we're hurting our customers? How can we do it better? So that's how this came to be. We may not offer it every year, but for now we've been offering it, and I think it's been a good success.
Dylan, I wanted to show you, because I know that you're new, and you said this. So there's a couple things as from a creator, like myself, that I can suggest for you. So one, John has digital tiers. And so for $10, you can do the whole catch up, and you don't have to pay for any shipping. So it's just a straight $10 to get in, and then you can read them all. And then, when you do have a chance to pitch in later, you can always pick up, issues as you go. John has campaigns throughout the year. So there will always be ample opportunity to get involved. If you just want to read the current one, it's $4. And if that's still outside of your budget because of reasons, what's going on right now, it's free to share. And we always appreciate when people share our books, because when you tell people this is what I like and they like the same things as you, they might come check us out as well. So.
Absolutely. And a lot of people will say to me, I can't afford it. We understand that, especially now more than ever. Times are tough all over. But shares really do help. So people will tell me, I've only got 3 followers on social media. It's not going to help. It all helps. And again, we're free. If you want to dip your toes in the water, Global Comics, that's comics with an X.com, is a free digital reader. You can download free books on there all the time, including Drumsticks of Doom #1. So reading on there and then sharing it out to social media is a huge boost for us. You don't think you're supporting us, but you are, because other people see that. Our readership goes up. So Global Comics might give us a little bit on the back end from their paid subscription readers, but there's all kinds of different ways you can engage with indie comics. Because again, we are a small business, right? We have almost zero budget for advertising. So you, the street team, are extremely important to the life of these kind of books, even if you can't plunk your hard-earned dollars down,
Yeah. And I mean, we all get it. We all get it, because we're in the same boat. Like there's so many projects that I want to back. And a lot of times I go a little overboard, and then my husband's like, can you give it a rest on the Kickstarters for right now? Because it's hard when they all come out at one time, which is bad luck on my part too. Cause I might be backing them over the course of a month, and then they all end at the same time. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm going to get the talk.
Absolutely.
But it's always fun when they all come in at the same time, and then you're like, look at all these boxes. La, 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 la. My husband's like, you got another book.
I fortunately have a spouse who gets many packages, so I could never compete with her. So she never really has any room to say, I'm ordering too much. Her pile of boxes is always bigger.
You're like, you got nothing to say, right? It just makes me laugh. So. So have you gone any cons recently, John? Have you been working? in
Yeah,
public?
I've been doing a lot of the smaller shows. We have
Yeah.
a bustling small business brewery scene around here where they do a lot of
Ooh.
comics and monster themed events. Often they're free or very cheap. I've been doing a lot of those. I haven't traveled to attend any cons in many years. I do some smaller ones like Northwest Indiana every year in February. Um, I do the comics and cosplay event at in Tinley Park every year. So there's a few local that I do, but I haven't done C2E2 or Heroes Con in a few years. I'm hoping now that Drumsticks of Doom is in trade and Child
Yeah.
Possession Services should be right behind it. Once I have like the fatter books for the table, I think it'll do a lot better for kind of eating up the table fees and doing well at bigger shows.
It's weird from my experience, and I want to ask if this is the same for you, that I sell individual issues as a group. So when someone's all in, they're buying the individual issues from me. And then if they're kind of part way, it's like they'll stop at the trade. It's hard to sell the trade plus 5 and 6. Is that the
Yep.
same? Is that what you find as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most people will just get the trade, even though you're like, well, the series is also continued here, and they'll say,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll get those another time. Yeah, that's always a challenge. Once you have the trades on the table, you'll find more often either people just get issue 1, or they get all the issues, or they get the trade.
Right.
Even if you like bundle them together, you're like, okay, these will, I'll save you $10. They're like, yeah, I'll check back with you when the next trade's out.
Right. And I'm always like, well, that's
That might be 2 years from now.
next year. Right. It's going to be a while. And I'm always like, but issue 7, they're like, that's good.
I honestly feel like we've had many backers who haven't returned from the first arc of Drumsticks of Doom.
Why?
And I do feel like maybe the doing the trade that soon made them feel like, you know what, we'll just get another trade down the road, not realizing that if, we don't produce these issues. So I tried to be clear on the campaign. I tried to say, just so people know, this series won't be collected until the series is completely over. Because of page count reasons, it's going to be the first trade and then a second trade. So if you're waiting on that, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer, to get, which is fine. I'm honest. I'm a dirty trade waiter. My whole room back here is covered. I love trade paperbacks and hardcovers. But for indie comics, it makes it a little tougher, right? Because if you lose, 40 to 50 of the backers from the first series, you're kind of, you're always kind of struggling to get back to those numbers.
I feel like that's the constant battle is attrition, where it's like I run a Kickstarter, I get new readers, I lose some old readers, you know what I mean? And for whatever reasons, and it's never something personal. We like to internalize and be like, I did something wrong. It's not it's nothing about you. It's like it's their financials, it's the timing, maybe they just missed it, the algorithm didn't push it, I don't know.
Or like you said, you put out these awesome cool collections, you kind of give them an opportunity to, and again, I've done that for myself, so no ill will.
Right. I mean, like, we get this. And some people just prefer that medium. Like, they just want to sit and binge read and they don't want to have to go in between books and taking it out of the sleeve with the bag and the board. And my sister does this. My sister will get the individual issues and just put them on the shelf and then wait for the trade. And I'm like, so you didn't read the last one? She's like, nope. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I can't tell you what's going on in the next one. Like, it's funny. Same thing. Yep. But then
that's okay. There's other options in how you engage with the book. We're happy, for those who pick it up and trade. I've done this long enough where I can adjust, right? I've adjusted the budget for the book and things, anticipating that the longer the series goes on, sometimes it's not always as big as the first couple issues. We're prepared for that, but you see the numbers on this one, right? Usually, our numbers are a little higher, but now we're kind of struggling towards the end of the campaign as we get to the end here.
I think that's me too, though. So I don't know if it's just the summertime and people are not like, it's the last push before school and people are on vacation. I honestly don't know, because where we are is right around the same. Like we're behind. And so, and again, it's just, I don't know, circumstances. So hopefully, people will get that email where it's like, this is ending soon, and pile on at the end like they usually do. But we never know. I've had campaigns where I'm like, we're going to get that push at the end, and it just never comes. And it's like, well, this is where we are. So again, it is what it is. And we're still getting a book, and that's that's the joy of it. So let's help Jon get funded so we can make sure we get this. I need this in my life. I'll be backing this after the show just to make sure I don't dox myself like I've done in the past because I'm an
You're all
idiot.
good. You're on the comp list. Just let me know.
I'm not on the comp list. I'm paying for this book. Shut up. I love when people are like, well, I'm just sending you a copy. I'm like, good, and I'll send you the money. Shut up. Take my money.
Appreciate it.
So that's funny. Any chances we're going to see Ozzy show up in your book or a reference?
Well, actually, readers of the first series will see we had like a fake news article in there. I feel kind of bad because in our universe, Ozzy took the place of John Lennon. Ozzy had
killed him off in the past.
So now I feel kind of bad that that's in the book. Maybe I'll take that out in future versions. But I mean, it was bound to happen eventually. The man went out on his own terms, so it wasn't any ill will or anything like that. But yeah, that was kind of our tribute to Ozzy and Sabbath. There's many references to that, but no, I've not talked about a particular tribute to Ozzy just yet. But it was he did pass on the day the book launched, so that was kind of odd too.
Oof, that's scary. I don't like the feeling when you write stuff and then you write it in the past, and as you're releasing it, then it becomes like relevant. That freaks me out. You know?
Yeah, totally.
Kind of all the issues and the trades depends on how much I'm into it. Yeah, that happens too. You know what? We were talking about this. I went on Travis's show last week, Thursday, and someone had a great idea. You know those I don't know what's it called, a slip box?
Yeah,
it's two boxes. You put the books in one half, and then it slips into another half, right?
Yeah, slipcase.
So slipcase. That's it. I was like, I'm calling it the wrong thing, but a slipcase. So that was the solution that he had, where it's like a lot of people want that trade to put it up on the bookshelf, and the individual issues won't do that. It's like, well, you can, but you don't see the art. You don't see what it is, right? So the slipcase kind of solves that. You could put like 12 issues in there, close it up, and put it on the shelf so they can add to it as they go. But it's like if you're getting 8 issues, you can put it all in the slipcase and then put it on the shelf.
No? That's actually a really good idea. I've seen people do that like for collections or after things are out, but that's not a bad idea for kind of the ongoing.
Yeah, and he said it works great at cons. Yeah, just ignore Chad. That's what I do. Just kidding, Chad. We love you.
We talked about you at the beginning of the show, so rewind the YouTube later.
It was all good things, though, I promise. We weren't talking.
Some good things
about you. We love you, Chad.
Chad is always on the minds.
Doom is the best metal comic for sure. Thanks, Tim. Tim, that's great compliment because Tim is also a musician and a comic creator, right?
Absolutely. And I don't want to speak for Tim, but he's also the story editor on the book, so he might be a little biased.
Oh, this is true. What did I say? I was going to say about Tim and the theremin. I forget what we were doing. What were we doing, Tim? Where there was music, and I was like, "What is that?" And you were like, "You introduced me to what a theremin is. I've never heard. Like, I've heard the sound, but I didn't understand. And that is such a weird instrument.
I know that's like a mythical instrument or something. I don't know.
Like it's just
people explained it to me, but it's like, no, that's voodoo, man. That's voodoo.
The cryptid theme. Yeah, that was it. And I was just, and then I had to look up how people play this because it's weird because you like wave your hand in front of this electrified bar. It's like, how is that a thing?
Work? No one knows. Magnets, how do they work?
Yeah, exactly. Magnets. Oh, thanks, Chad. That's really awesome too. It is really good. It is. John's a great writer, you guys. You got to.
I mean, at the very least, you're going to get insanely stunning art. I have no doubt in that. Again, modest. My one good trait is I know how to pair artists with the right project.
Yeah. So, Drumsticks of Doom. Let me go back. To hold my shipping. And I want to talk about I always want to see what's happening next because I know you put these up here and sometimes they're in the right order. Are these in the right order this time?
They are not. I just put the order in how I like the covers.
You're like, I just put them up there as pretty pictures.
Like which was stupid, but also we had to delay one book, so it all got mixed up anyways.
Yeah, life happens. So which one's coming next?
So the final one there on the right is Child Possession Services, the finale. So hot we can't even tell you the title of the book.
Really?
CPS was set up as a series of one-shots, but it's a continuing universe, much like Travis Gibbs' Granite State Punk. And all the bad decisions in Connie, our main character, has made to this point are all coming to fruition in the final issue. And that's in September with my now co-creator, Mata Sorcier. And we're very excited to see the series come to an end. There is more stories within the universe, so there could be a chance down the road, but we kind of thought it was the right time to finish out that series. Again, you see I have a lot of ongoings going at once, a lot of plates in the air. So we're wrapping up CPS. We wrapped up LCS earlier this year. And really, I want to focus on finishing Drumsticks of Doom in 2026. Dan has been a great co-creator, but it's time to take some of these other things off the plate and focus on Drumsticks of Doom so it can get to the end before he and I get too old to finish it. So we're 2026 is all about Drumsticks of Doom and getting that series completed.
So you're gonna be rapping on CPS, and then you're gonna rap on Drumsticks of Doom. Gosh.
I know. I'm gonna need something else to do. I'm gonna run out of.
Yeah, no. You're like, I still got 2 other series I can write.
There's always be one, right?
Right, and then I'm like, I know John. He'll probably add something new to the plates in the air. I mean, like, and now we're starting this one.
And some of it, honestly, at this point in my career, I understand that. I respect people like yourself and Carissa who have these long epics going, but I would really have to commit to doing like multiple issues a year to really see a longer form story through. So I'm definitely, there's more stories again in these universes. So if the interest is there, if it gets picked up by a publisher, if people are, downloading it on Global Comics 1,000 times a week, there's always room to revisit these universes. But I do want to give people, some finality to their story before, 10 years from now, again, when Dan and I are too old to finish it,
Okay. So while I was at NTX, Gilbert actually showed up there, which was a surprise to me. So if you guys haven't seen the picture on my social media of myself, Marco, and Gilbert all in one place, that'll probably never happen again, but that was amazing. And so Gilbert was walking the con, and there was a table for a publisher. I'm not going to say who they are, but we had a conversation, and John, he was like, I'm looking for series that are 4 issues or less. I want one-shots. I want short stories so we can put them in anthologies. And so I think that this long epic that I have, and I mean, like, it's finite. I have 12 and then 12 and then 12. They were like, sorry, we're not interested. It could be the best thing on the planet, but we don't want it until it's done. So you might be better off doing stuff like 4 issues, 6 issues, and getting out and going on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's
out there
many ways that you can do this, but I do think that you're going to see a lot more like yourself, where if you have a longer form story, you have to take it under your own publishing house. A lot of them aren't going to be willing to kind of take the risk on it. Things change, but again, for me, it's just, I like to tell stories in different universes and kind of make different things up and then kind of see where it goes. If readership is there, if excitement is there, we can continue these things. But I did, for most of these stories, have kind of an idea for the end. So I do like the idea of kind of seeing Drumsticks of Doom all the way through, maybe putting out some nice, cool, awesome hardcover for the shelf and focusing on some other things.
I agree. You should do choose your own adventure book and Drumsticks of Doom. That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
I would like that one. Of course, I want to choose your own adventures type story in everybody's universe, so I could walk around and make decisions and mess up and try again. So. All right, so CPS is next, and then Final Heist.
That one was a one shot we did in May of this year. It was successfully funded.
Okay,
and that's a one shot, so that is a complete horror crime epic that I did with co-writer Aaron Dowen and our artist Deborah Lanchinisi. So that did come out already. It is, the box should be here any minute now, so I can start shipping that one. So we always kind of have some overlap with the many projects, but yeah, the only one left after Drumsticks of Doom is CPS, and then I've kind of scheduled that the last couple of years to kind of give myself some time to write and recoup at the end of the year as things get a little hectic. I try to do, from January to like October-ish, and then kind of see where things are at the end of the year.
Hi, Uncle Carl. Welcome to the show. He says, I want to write a song for Doom. I'm pretty sure Jon wouldn't say no to that, Tim. I'm just saying. I don't think anybody would say, if you were like, hey, I want to write a song for Path, I'd be like, effing let's go. Like, who would say no to that?
That is one thing, though. I wish I had the foresight to do something like that. Again, Dan is a lifelong musician. He plays guitar and sings. I play drums.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to that yet. I'm hoping before that aforementioned hardcover collection comes out that we get together and jam a Drumsticks of Doom song.
Yes, please. And I mean, like, it's because the time and effort that goes into actually making a good song, and that's probably why you haven't done it. You know what I mean? Because some people are. I'm going to use myself as an example. Amateur that I used to play, and I haven't played in a long time, but I could pick up an instrument and attempt to do a song. It would sound like crap. So we could throw something together, and it would be terrible. Yes, absolutely. I'll get the cello out. I will.
Oh, nice.
Make you all pay for it.
I'll lay down some drums for you, Tim, although I don't really have any professional recording equipment, so it sounds like crap.
See, and I think that's my problem too, is like I need someone to teach me, or I gotta figure it out. Sound mixing. Because my videos are usually really good, but the sound is crap. It's
I
just
have
not.
some buddies who do it, and it's just like, it's definitely its own skill. It's not just like you click a button and it works. Like, they're mixing stuff, they're raising levels.
Okay. Because I have software, but I feel like I just click the button that says fix the sound and it makes it worse. And I'm like, this sounds terrible. Like, undo it.
Damn it.
I just someone needs to teach me that. Please. Jon, teach me that. Teach me your ways, Jedi Master.
I'm the drummer. I just play. They hook the mics up and make it sound good.
You're like, that's not my job. I just play the things. That's
I don't know nothing about that. I actually have some friends who are wizards with it, so I definitely need to get around to it. And again, maybe it'll be like a special thing for the final issue.
Ooh, yeah, we need to do the audiobook, like, for sure. When it's all done, we need to figure out like how to. I don't know. There's two kinds of audiobooks, though. Which way would you go? Would you have like one person just narrate it, or would you have like actors and actresses actually voice out the parts?
That's a tough call. Most of the audiobooks I've listened to is one person. But yeah, I don't know. I think for a comic, I'd rather have the actors, different voices for each one. I don't know. And I don't know why that is. Just because you can kind of see them visually. So you want to pair a voice with that. And but I do prefer the books where it's one narrator. Like I had a Lord of the Rings one that was like theatrically acted out, and I did not like it as much as I liked.
Like just straight up narration.
Yeah, which is weird. Until you asked that, why do I think that?
See, you already got people volunteering. That would be awesome.
Like Andy Serkis does a reading of Lord of the Rings. That's amazing, and he does different voices. That's kind of his
thing. Andy Serkis does it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
I need that one.
Freaking good. But then again, I downloaded or I bought a theatrical one for my spouse and I, and we didn't like it. It was like way too over the top, and we'll just watch the movies at that point. But but Andy Serkis reading the book was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's like shut up and take my money. So in the chat, what do you guys think? Would you prefer Drumsticks of Doom as a narration, or you want to hear Drumsticks of Doom with different voices? And of course, in that case, Jon, you'd have to do some original music for like the background. You know what I mean? Sure. Even if it's not like a full song, but just like some music.
Transitions music. Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Michael. Good morning. So I'm just interested in what people think, because it's like, it's time and it's money that we put into these. And it's like, we don't want to make the thing. And it's like, meh. Lou says acted out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, that seems to make more sense for a comic where you've seen the visuals already. It's not all just in your head like a novel,
Mm-hmm. And I like the idea of putting like a soundtrack in the back, even if it's quiet, so the voices can talk over it.
I like it. We're getting somewhere.
gosh, are we going back to the 1920s? We're just going to bring back everything, bring it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
everything goes full
1920s radio
circle,
shows.
right?
Let's do it. With the sound effects. Andrea also says different voices would have different level, maybe more dynamic, but one voice narration would work as well.
Okay. Especially if you had somebody again who can, handle that and read in different voices.
What if we did kind of both, where you have like a main narrator who's like narrating the scene and telling you like what's going on in the background, our characters are here, blah, blah. And then the voices kind of take over and act out the stuff. Is that a thing?
That could work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something to think about. I definitely would love Drumsticks of Doom to live on in a different life, something like that, or obviously animated or something like that.
Oh,
would be
gosh.
really cool to see.
That would be amazing. To give it the whole heavy metal treatment.
There you go.
That's what I would sign up for. And it's only like, it's not that dated. That's like 1920s radio shows, no? Am I wrong? Am I thinking?
Those have been around still. There's people who do theatrical podcasts and stuff. But yeah, I get what you're saying, like War of the Worlds type era where there was no visual. And
that was messed up. That
breaking the glass in the background and doing the clogs on the ground.
Yeah,
it would certainly be fun.
Slam the door. We're gonna bring it back. You heard it here. But what were we saying before that? Live on. Okay, as an animation. I was like, now here's the problem with that. Because I talked to an animation firm last year. No, it was the beginning of this year. No, it was the end of last year. And one of the guys that worked at the animation studio picked up the trade for me at a Comic-Con. It was like, this is super cool. I would love to get my hands on and animate some of this stuff. And we talked about just like a 30-second animation of like Big James chasing Jude St. Clair on horseback. And then with like a title page at the end for like 5 seconds. So it would be 25 seconds of animation and 5 seconds title page. Guess how much?
$200,000.
Not quite that much, but it was still outside my wheelhouse. It was like $12,000.
Okay, well, less than I thought, but I know even like a short segment is like a lot.
Yeah. So I was like, and his counter was, well, we could use AI.
Oh, bad counter.
And so that became no thank you. But I mean, that's kind of where we're at, where it's like animation is so expensive, or it's like, well, we can use AI and it will like cut your cost, like quarter it. And I was just like, God, it's as cool as that would be to see it. I'm not touching AI. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a good call. And so I don't know. You'll have to see what if someone came to you and said, like, we would love to animate this. What's your budget? What would you do?
Like you said, throw me out a number, and then because even like a single issue would probably be $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
You're talking about 18 to 20 minutes of animation is a lot. I did have a buddy who was starting out and wanting to dip his toes in animation, and did a short one of Lana playing the drums based off. He basically just made the art move, like a motion comic. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Then you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, that's so cool. It's alive. But that's okay. If the stories only stay in comics, comics is the best medium to tell stories. So I'm okay with that too.
Oh, Michael, let me show you. Sorry. We are talking about Drumsticks of Doom, which is
talking about the rock opera Drumsticks of Doom that we're making, with starring Laurie as the main singing.
No, we are not. We are talking about Drumsticks of Doom, the comic book series by Jon Westhoff and creative team at Part-Time Comics. And this is technically issue 7, but it's like the middle part of the story. So it says 3 of 3 because it's the middle part of the arc. It's an incredible story. It's if Pantera, Black Sabbath. Tell me again.
Black Sabbath.
I'm gonna buy it. Thank you. I was like, one of them became the It band instead of the Beatles, and what does that look like in this world? And it brings in all sorts of monsters and arachnigators.
Arachnigators.
Yeah, Michael, go check it out, because if you're into metal music and I know you're into comics, you will love this too. So here's the Linky Lou. Or you can go check out, just type in Drumsticks of Doom. It'll come right up. So 8 days left to go on this one. Let's
Yeah, like
go.
I said, at conventions, it does really well. When we do
Yeah.
shows, it's just kind of, you know, the subject matter kind of sells itself. You know, kind of who the target audience is. But there's nothing worse than like a guy walks up in like an Iron Maiden
Yeah.
shirt, or like a battle vest with all the patches, and they're like, nah, I'm good. And I'm like, but I made this comic for you.
Like, you must not understand what we're talking
That's
about.
all right. Comics aren't for everybody.
Right. And it's hard, you know, and like, that's what I try to tell people when they're like, I'm not really into comics. And I was like, yeah, but I'm like, you're not getting anything good from Hollywood right now, are you? Like, reboot, recycle, right? And I was
Right.
like, we're still writing good stories. Hollywood isn't picking them up for reasons.
Right.
You got to venture out of your Hollywood comfort zone into indie comics to get the good stuff. And so they
Absolutely.
do. Could do
Whenever
the
I have
Spotify code.
friends or acquaintances that are like, oh, you know, it's just comics, or they're not producing. It's like every week, amazing stories come out from all forms of comics, like
Yeah.
international comics, manga, independent, big publishers. Comics are always pushing the storytelling boundaries, and that's why you see so many that end up jumping to the big screen. You know, the Sweet
Yes.
Tooths and the Revivals and all these awesome books that they finally have realized, right, are just a great groundwork for a great story. But
Yeah.
they start in comics.
Have you there's another podcast that I really like that's called Movie Smash. Chris Roberts runs that one, and he's often in our chat on Tuesdays, but so when I signed up to do that one, they send you a list of like 300 movies to pick from. And the criteria to be on their list is that it had to be a comic book before it became a movie. And so a lot of these I didn't realize were graphic novels and comics, and that's me. And I know some of these, you know what I mean? But like the one that I chose was Atomic Blonde, and I was just like, this was a comic? And he was like, oh yeah. So we pull up like the graphic novel, and it had a completely different name, but I was like, that's really cool. So I had no idea that it was that many. And so I was like, you know, for years this has been going on where,
Absolutely.
you know, Hollywood is like, we need a new story. We need a new story.
Yeah. But before, it was kind of a dirty word to say it was a comic or graphic novel. Now it's like, oh, if we plaster that as the movie starts, people, you know, get excited.
Based on the book.
Times have changed.
Yeah. Yep. And Uncle Carl, you were exactly right. It would be cheaper to hire real actors than to animate something of 100%.
That is actually true. Yeah. Which is weird, right?
Because you're paying people for time, and the time is a lot more to animate than it is to sit down and record
scene. Yep.
voice.
Depending on how many scenes and what you're, you know, what that goes into the setting up the world. But yeah, you're right.
And I mean, like, even if you're animating it, you still have to hire those actors to voice the parts. So it's like, it's double the duty here. So I don't know. I'll just say this. If I ever win the lotto, I might not announce it, but there'll be signs, like an animated version of Path.
And again, for me, I'm happy with it staying in comics, but if it does jump to another medium, I definitely think the only thing I would want in the contract is that I get to control the soundtrack. I would definitely feel very attached to that certain artists and certain songs and certain style needs to match.
I mean, you would think that they would be on board with that too. It's like, because it's a literal series about metal music. Like,
it's heavy in the theme.
Right. Like, you would need to understand, like, we're not putting Justin Bieber in the soundtrack. Okay.
Even other series I've written that I've thought about, I always kind of have that, what's the intro song to this scene, or what's playing in the background. It's always a big part of, what I think while I'm writing,
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. That's one of the challenges that I find in comics, is that there is no sound. And so when it comes to those like big action scenes and like the tension when you're building the dread, it's like, are you hearing music in your head? And then how do you convey that, man? It's hard.
Well, fortunately, I hear the music in my head. I feel the inspiration. And then I get to hand it off to the artist and say, now you make it happen. So that's the best part, right? So I think the part of it is again, part of why I wanted to work with Dan on this, because Dan is a lifelong musician. I knew that he knows how the instruments look and that a guitar has this many strings, but he needed to know that part too. And Dan does an amazing job. There's other artists that have also done that have inspired me. A big one currently working is a creator out of Boston, Dave Chisholm. He is a doctorate level trumpet player and an artist.
God.
And you can see it on the page. He did a biography of Miles Davis, and it looks like you're hearing sound. Like, this is what I think sound would look like if I could hear it. He just, something about just his love for music just gets onto that page. And Dan is the same way. I mean, when we, when I tell him, okay, this scene is, Lana's singing and she's, she's really finding her zone. And this is, this is what it needs to look like. It can be like 2-sentence description. And he's like, oh, I got you. Boom. And he turns in the page and it's like, okay, it looks like, the music is alive on the page. And that's such a hard thing to do, again, in a soundless medium. Like, why would you want to write comics about music you can't hear? But I think there is ways that you can make people, hear. And then again, you're not prescribing to them what they hear. Maybe they hear their own, soundtrack in the background, or a singer that they really like. I've always thought that's a cool part of comics is trying to incorporate it without just having like QR codes everywhere, which we also sneak into the book at certain points. We do that too, as well, to play the songs that kind of inspire the stories. But yeah, I mean, it's great to work with an amazing, accomplished, lifelong artist and musician like Dan, and they just make that look so easy.
Yeah. And that's, it's interesting to me because you can tell when someone gets music and has lived that feeling of getting into the music, like getting lost in the music. It's a thing. And not everybody has had the chance to experience that if you don't play music. So when you see an artist that has experienced it and then can draw that. So me as a musician, when I see the face that she has and the expression that she's wearing while she's making music, I can understand that and connect to it. You know what I mean? But it takes that special artist that has lived it in order to really do that. And now this is something that is interesting too, Apex. Like, I letter and I do the SFX and I put the sound in, but sometimes you got to let the art breathe too. So when something is so loud, I don't want to cover the entire page in SFX in order to communicate. So what's the happy medium there?
But he's right. You can influence sound in that way. So that's part of it. If I can share my screen for a second, I'll show you an example.
Yes, please.
So I think this is a good example. This was a scene that, when I originally thought, this was the first scene that kind of came to mind. That's how often stories start with me. It's like, there's a scene and what's this character doing and why? And this was the scene. All right. She's at practice. She's been hesitant to play her own music, but now it's just her and her guitar player. She's able to let loose and play her songs that she's written. And again, Dan does a great job here capturing sound. It's not just that I lettered, like you said. I could have just lettered her singing, but does that really convey it? No. Again, I think Dan, her posture, the way she's playing, and again, just adding all of that to the page, which again, I didn't really even have to tell him. He knew exactly kind of how to convey that. And, again, that was a scene I waited for a long time, and kind of thinking about the series. And it was just so cool to see it come to life. And Dan does this over and over again. Like you said, you just get those people who kind of know how to capture that. Yeah. So he makes it easy for me.
That's a beautiful page, by the way.
Yeah, and that is in the preview of issue 1. If you haven't checked it out, people click on that link. But yeah, that's where the story starts. Again, she's kind of rushing off to practice. She plays in her ex's fledgling heavy metal band, but really she wants to play what we would call pop music, independent music on her own. But the world is so intense with heavy metal that she's kind of afraid to kind of come out with her own stuff. She's got to find her way musically, as well as battling demons and witches and all that stuff that I added.
Minor things, just a werewolf running through the wall, figure it out. Pop music and werewolves. 2 life choices you got to make someday as a girl.
Absolutely.
All right, John, it is that time of the show already. God, this flies by, man. Tell everybody where they can find you. Obviously, you got your link tree right there. But is there certain social medias you like to be on? Is you going to be at another show in the near future? And of course, I'm going to put that link to the Kickstarter back up on the page for everybody so they can go walk around and pick out the tier that they like.
Appreciate you. letting us hog some more of your airtime. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time we've been on, so we appreciate it. Like you said, that link right there, Part-Time Comics on Linktree, is the best way. Then you can choose which social media, Substack, however you want to engage with us, YouTube. I am on almost all the social medias all the time. I'm still one of those sorry, sad people that like social media and like interacting with people and finding friends and all that on the internet. So I'm pretty much on all of them all the time. So if you want to contact me, we're Part-Time Comics with an X on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, all those, TikTok. So you can find us on all the social medias. But again, if you just want to follow us on Kickstarter, on YouTube, or Substack, however you want to engage with us, because certainly we're always shouting out into the void about our books. So, you know, we respect anybody who's like, yeah, I unfollowed you on social media because you never shut the hell up. You know what? I get it. There's other ways to engage with us. I choose how you want to.
Well, I'm like, I think you're funny. I like your like when you're live and you're posting memes and stuff. I chuckle, but that's me. So
Thank you.
I have a good time. So thank you again for coming on the show. Next week, who is here, you guys? Oh, it is Fish Lee. And we're talking Alice Lost in Wonderland because they are live right now. They just launched. So we'll be talking more Kickstarter. I'm excited. So thank you for joining us today. Please, please, please go check out all these amazing projects on Kickstarter. You got 3 days left to hop on Path of the Pale Rider. You have 8 days left to go hop on Drumsticks of Doom. Carissa Grant just launched her 3rd issue of her Western Devastation. So that's out. Fish Lee is live. Cthulhu Invades Fairyland is live. There's a ton of stuff. Don't forget Ed Davis and Sarah White, who are both live, that you get free stuff if you back theirs and Path. We'll definitely sort through all that. I hate sorting through all that stuff, but we'll sort through it for you because we love you. So we'll get it done. So again, be excellent to each other. Kiss your babies. We'll see you here next week. I'm going to play Deep Thought from Dwayne Fink, and then we'll close out the show. Enjoy.
Deep Thoughts by Dwayne Fink.
The beer is made from hops. Hops is a plant. Does that make beer a salad?
This has been Deep Thoughts by Dwayne Fink.
Hey, you gonna drink that?
Ooh.